Hello everyone, I am Nu-Trix of Synth Guy. Today I bought myself a new synthesizer. A Waldorf Rocket. It's a cool thing. Now you look at this and go, that's a synth? It looks like an effect processor or just a weird box. Well, it is a synthesizer. Of course, it's a synth brain without the keyboard. What's cool about it, it works MIDI in and out. There's an audio out, so it's monophonic. And there's a VCF in. So I can actually use this to send any type of sound into this and process it and use the filter to actually modify an input that you put in. And I had a cool question from Francisco I'm working with. And Francisco told me, he said, why do you even buy a new synth? Because you've got plenty of them. Why this would be different than the other one? Well, I'll try to explain how I decide which one I'm going to buy and which one I won't. In this case, the price. It was on liquidation, so the price was really good. I got it for less than $150. So for me, that's humongous value for the price. This goes for $360 US about. So it's still an affordable synthesizer. But then you say why? Now, in this. First of all, it's a Waldorf. Waldorf are renowned for their filters. It's a German company, and they have great sounding synthesizers. This is a really small, they almost pocket size. Of course, not pocket size, but it's a very small, portable, if you want, synth. And what's cool about it is it's a digital oscillator, so really precise, but at the same time, it mimics analog synthesis, so you still have that physical modeling, if you want, of electrical circuits. So the oscillator is really cool sounding, but on top of that, to make it sound warm, the filter is analog. So the most important part of the synth is analog. It's a cool little piece of gear. The feature in this are really limited for the amount of buttons that they have, but they just made the right choices in having the sound cool and efficient with what they have here. So let's listen to how it sounds, and you'll see why I like this little box. It just sounds cool. Okay guys, so we have a Waldorf Rocket synthesizer here, and the question I was asked is, why is it even interesting? Because the box looks so small and tiny, and there's not a lot of features on it. It goes back to the sound. It goes back to what you can do with it. They found ways to get a lot out of a very simple design, and that's really cool about it. So we have a VCF in. I'm not even going to use that for now. I'm just going to talk about what else you have. You have the oscillator section. Oscillator, you have a choice of two, sawtooth or square, and then you have a choice. This kind of recreates a lot of controls with just one knob. If you have, let's go to open this up, okay, just have that sound. Have that square wave or the sawtooth. Sawtooth, square. Then with the square I have the choice, you have white lines here of information. On the white line you can change the pulse width up to the point that it has no value anymore. It's just a static. Bring it back in. So then when we get to that section, you have the normal square. If you get to the other side, then you start having pulse width modulation. It's like adding an LFO. This one has its own LFO in that case. So it's not even related to this. That's an extra LFO. That's cool. I didn't notice that. So, and then if you use this one, you're kind of detuning the sound itself. And then when you pass the mid value here, it becomes chords that you play. So it's like having two oscillator, and then you have control over the second one here, so you have a chord. So it's pretty weird design, but at the same time pretty cool with just these two. Hear how much... And we're just hearing the oscillator, nothing else. So everything else is just not active. So really powerful in this very simple design. You get a lot of noise and sound and different option of variation of sound. If we go with the sawtooth and you go on that side, it's kind of... It's kind of the time it takes it for settling on one sound. Interesting. Then you have the normal sawtooth, and then you go the other side and you have what they call, and Roland will call this the super saw. You have many sawtooth playing at the same time, and you're detuning them. If they're not detuned, you have it here. This is the kind of volume of all of them. Is how many sawtooths you have at the same time. When you go to the maximum, there's a number 8. So it's like you're playing 8 sawtooth at the same time. It's like having 8 oscillator playing. And then you've got the volume. Here you've got the detune of all of them separately. And when you pass the middle value, become chords again. So really rich, very powerful sound, just one oscillator. But with the fact that when you're using this, you're having up to 8 oscillators and you can detune them. That's for the sawtooth. For the square wave, you can also have the detune factor. So it's like having 2 oscillators playing at the same time. So yes, you only have 1, but you have at least 2 oscillators or 8, depending on which one you select. So pretty interesting. Very efficiently chosen values for this, just 2 knobs, and you get this amount of noise out of it. Then you've got the glide. Let's bring that to a very... So how much you're gonna take to slide between the notes. Okay. You have the filter. Very simple, efficient, low pass, band pass, and high pass. These are 24 dBs per octave, so the classic analog Moog, but this is the classic Waldorf sound. So you can have tracking of 0, 50, and 100. So do you want a cutoff point to follow the keys that you're playing on the keyboard? So I go, okay, this is just nice, but it's not like super different than what you have usually. Then what's interesting is when you use the filter with the envelope. So you're going to go envelope modulation. And the envelope, if you look at it, it's very simple. You've got sustain, on or off, so no value for it, it's just on, and the release on or off. And then there's no attack. So this is made for bass. This is made for always fast attack. There's nothing you can change about the attack. And the sustain, you want it or not, and the release, you want it or not. And then you've got the value for the decay. So, and the decay is also the value for the release. boost you're creating a distortion at the input, so you get that clipping sound. Turn it off. For me, this is really powerful. For the very little amount of features you have here, it just sounds. The band pass is also. And the high pass. Of course, the most useful one is the low pass. And then when this really becomes cool is that section over here. You have LFO and arpeggiator. If you use the LFO, you use the white values. You're an LFO sent to the oscillator, so you're going to change the pitch. And then here you're going to change how much is going to affect it, the depth of the effect. Let's say I'm going to take out the cutoff so you hear it. Okay, very simple sound, so you have that. Okay. And then you have the speed here. Then you have the value here. Is it a square wave? You have a square, you have a, a triangular, and you hear the movement. And then you have, and the last one you have sawtooth. Okay, this is just weird sounding. If you want this with a filter, it becomes a lot nicer to use. So it become really fun really rapidly because there's so little options. It's, you know, very fast to get what you want. Of course you cannot do everything with that, but what you can do is really cool. The last part that is really one of the coolest part in this is the arpeggiator. You go ARP, and now the green values here, see there's pattern written here, so you can change between pattern 1, 2, 3, and so forth. And then there's the choice of the pattern playback. Is it playing forward, normally, forward, backward, you know, one way, the other, one way, the other, one way, the other, or do you want it to be up and gliding down, up and gliding down? So let's try the normal value. Bring it to the that's the speed, the tempo. that's why I really like this little thing. It's a small package. It sounds cool. It's very simple in the amount of values and but still you have a lot of option in the sound you can make, and it sounds good. If you look at this, there's no presets. There's no way to save your memory. It's just like make the sound work for the song and record it right away. The only thing I didn't talk about is the fact you can send sound into the filter. So you could say, I'm going to send in something else. Oh, let's try this. Volca Beats into this and see how it sounds. So you can use this to modify the sound in the filter input. So that's it. That's the Rocket synthesizer from Waldorf, and this is just a pretty little box. I like it. It has this natural analog sound, but it has a digital synthesis, so it's a physical model. So you get a really powerful oscillator, and the filter is analog. So I think it's one of the, a good combination of the two. You've got the sound of the warmth of the analog filter, and you can use filter input, so you can actually send input into the filter, and you have the stability and wide range of sound that this can do. So pretty cool. Simple, efficient, powerful, direct, fun to play. And if you get it to the right price, cool little buy. So that's it. Waldorf Rocket Synthesizer. Now, if you like what I do, thumb up. Follow me on my different online presences. Cheers, guys.